What's going on, YouTube? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today of Bitcoin. Right now, we're sitting at 22,623. We're down 0.89%. And what I want to do, we're going to look at Bitcoin from the 1 week chart all the way down to the 1 hour time frame. But what I wanted to start in here was the 12-hour time frame for Bitcoin. And what I wanted to point out here are these really long wicks. So we had a lot of profit taking, and that was roughly up around 24,000. So we got up to around that 24,000, $23,800 is what we're going to call it. But what you can see is we're having a bit of those tweezer tops up in that area on some heavy volume. This next candle here as well, that's like a long leg doji candle there. So you can see there's a lot of indecision. And then we basically had another doji candle. And now what we're waiting to see is if we get that follow through to the downside. Okay, and what my opinion would just be more of a short-term correction. I think it would be healthy for us to go all the way back to $19,710, back test that before we potentially get moving again. So do I think this is over for Bitcoin in terms of the explosive moves to the upside? I don't. I just feel like this could be a spot where we do get a decent little pullback or correction. Even onto that 20 EMA right now that we've gapped away from, on the 12-hour time frame here, that would be all the way back to around $20,423. So when we're looking at these things, I just want to point out there for the shorter term trader, this area here may be that local top, and we may have to start retracing. Typically, I'm big on the wicks like we've talked about. You can see really long wicks here at the top on heavy volume. You can see really long wicks down here, and this is when we were talking about potentially starting that uptrend from those long wicks on heavier volume off the 50 moving average. So I just want to be aware of this. Do we have to go back to that area? We don't. It's typical when you do break through areas like that, you'll back test it, try to find some support before you get moving again. But, Bitcoin could just go sideways for a few days, and then we have a whole nother shot to the upside. I mean, that's always possible. Right now on the 12-hour time frame, the relative strength index at 77. So these are just some warning signs here. When you look, you see the climax volume, the heavy volume with the wicks, a lot of profit taking at the top here on the 12-hour time frame, while the RSI is in that overbought condition. We're all the way up to around 82. So do we need to consolidate or cool down a little bit? Absolutely. This has been an explosive move. Now, what I want to do for you, so I just want to put that warning out there in the shorter term. So shorter term, I'm a little bit more bearish now that we may have a slight correction or retracement. In the longer term, still extremely bullish. Okay, so I just want to put that out there. What I want to do is go out to the 1 week, take a look at this. There's some things I wanted to point out here. So you can see as we broke through this all-time high, we need a candle close up above that this week. That would be very important for us. We're up above our 20, 50, 100, and 200 moving average. Now, last time when we were in these bull markets, when we'd have retracements, many times we would come back onto that 20. Not saying we have to, because there's other times we had retracements and we didn't get back to it. We got so explosive and going straight up, essentially. But many times we will back test that area. Okay, and the 20 right now would put us all the way back to around $15,000. Will we get there? Most likely not. I'm first looking at this 19,710. But we are starting to catch some air from this 20 EMA. And when you catch some air, sometimes you can get pulled back onto that. And we also want to point out on the 1 week, the relative strength's at 87 right now. I mean, that is high, guys. I know we can get up into the 90s. Let's see here. The highest we've been on the weekly, around 91. So we're approaching that. We're at 87. So this is a time when some people may be, using those trailing stop losses, taking some profit in the shorter term, and then trying to rebuy at some retracement level. And that's for people who are trading. I like to trade, swing trade. For people who are longer term investing, you just got to ride this out right now. That's the main thing. So that's on the 1 week. Be aware of those areas. If we get into the 1 day, and also, guys, if you get some from this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Just always going to try to point stuff out the best that I can to you. I'm never going to give you advice of when to buy, sell, anything like that, because there's so many different tradings. There's scalping, there's swing trading, there's day trading, there's position trading, long-term investing. Everybody has different tolerance for risks and size of positions as well. So I'm just going to show you the technicals, some of the warning signs, sometimes both bullish, bearish, and you make up your mind and you do what you want to do with it, okay? So that's the main thing I'm looking at. But up here, on the 1 day time frame, now let me get rid of this. We're actually going to measure this wick. So this wick's about 3.8% to 4%. So this is a really long wick. Last time we found our bottom here from our retracement, let's take a look at this wick. It was roughly around 5. So these are common wicks at the top and bottom that sometimes can mark those local tops and bottoms there in the shorter term. So we want to be aware of that. And as we work back through, I know you remember the people who are here with me, this was a big whale cluster of wicks that I was talking about probably for about a week or so right here. And that was right around that 200 moving average. And ever since then, we really moved far to the upside. So I like to pay attention to wicks. They're not everything. Obviously, you know, you look at the candle closes, you look at all your indicators, your volume, everything like that as well. But they can give you some information of when people are taking some profits or when people are buying at critical levels. RSI on the 1 day is at 73.99 right now. We did the 12 hour, so we'll go into the 4. On the 4 hour time frame, we have had some heavy sell volume right here, and that was roughly at about $23,366 when that started. We are right on top of our volatility stop for the 4 hour time frame, which would be around $22. Guys, I've been talking all morning today. I've had 6 clients personal training, so I'm a little worn out right now just mentally. So bear with me here. Volatility stop at $22,430. And then we look down to that 20 EMA, and that would be at around $21,729. RSI is at 70 there. You can see we got some lower highs taking place on the RSI on the 4 hour, then we'll get into the 1 hour. And I always like to look at the volatility stop because what that'll do is show you the trend as well. So like on the 1 hour time frame now in the short term, we're in that downtrend. You can see the volatility stop. So they're showing it like if you were shorting Bitcoin right now. So what we're trying to do is find support off the 50 moving average. That's going to be at 22,254. If we can find support there, next overhead resistance 23,212. Now if we lose this 50 here, I would look down to the 100 moving average, and that'd be back around 21,370. Then the area, our previous all-time high where we did end up breaking through on some heavier volume there at 19,710. If we get into the technicals for Bitcoin, and let me know what you all are doing right now. Are you just sitting back? Are you holding? Are you longer term investing? Are you trading? You trying to take some profits? I would love to hear down low what you guys are doing. So summary, 5 sell, 6 neutral, 17 buy, oscillators, 4 sell, 5 neutral, and a 2 buy. So you can see right there, the stock, commodity channel, momentum, Williams percentage range of sell. So just keep an eye on some of these oscillators on the 1 day time frame. If we get to the 4 hour time frame, 4 sell, 10 neutral, 14 buy, 0 sell, 9 neutral, and 2 buy for the oscillators. So that's what I want to bring to you guys today. Hope it helps. God bless each and every one of you. Keep an eye on these levels. Take care.